This was the first 5-set match in the second week of a major since the 4th round of Wimbledon last year. Alcaraz won nearly 80% of the points at net, 60-0 when leading 2-0 up at a Grand Slam. But that was in doubt, Lindsay.
It's still just reeling from that match and everything that was going on there. Zverev put himself in such a great position, and the moment really for Zverev became a lot in those couple of sets. Yeah. But Alcaraz and way was able to fight back in the end and get stronger in that 5th set.
Alcaraz now the youngest man to ever reach the final at all 4 majors. Incredible. Just 22 years old. With the win, would become the youngest to complete the career Grand Slam, and he would do it with a couple of years to spare. Martina said he was physically one of the most demanding matches he has ever played. Afterwards, he's cooling down, and look who comes over to congratulate him before taking the court. Novak Djokovic.
Talk about a class act. We saw the guys watching the match before they went on. Everybody was kind of in bated breath, but really class act there from Novak. He looks as relaxed as could be. The irony of it that normally when people get tired and they need to finish the match as quickly as possible, Carlos needed to stretch it out as much as possible to get into the 5th set, and maybe by then the body will recover, and that's exactly what happened. But the fact that he could still hit winners just with his arms, no legs, the talent is just ridiculous, and the mindset.
I can't think of another person who would be able to manage it, as Martina said, by just being able to hit winners from the middle of the court, barely on one foot. It was a combination of a couple of things in sets 3 and 4. Carlos, he managed his emotions really well. If you tighten up and you start, just kind of giving it a little bit more, it's going to be worse for the muscles. So the fluidity of the way he was playing, the way he was going after shots, his breathing in between, I think helped him a lot as he moved forward towards the end of that match. But Zverev, he had a break point in the 3rd set. He had 2 break points in the 4th set. I don't necessarily think he was playing the right way. Yes, it's impossible to say not being there, but a lot of those balls soft up the middle, trying to put the ball in play, which I agree with, but it's got to be side to side, side to side, make Alcaraz suffer out there. He kind of was allowed to recover a little bit. A remarkable effort from both players. I thought Zverev did an unbelievable job, especially on that forehand side, changing a little bit of the mentality, pulling the trigger a little bit more. But you run out of gas, you run out of gas.
We had questions. How would Alcaraz play a really big match without Juan Carlos Ferrero in his camp? Because he was always in his ear in these matches, and some of the biggest matches trying to talk him through. He handled the situation so well. His coach, Samuel Lopez, did an amazing job talking him through it. There was one point in the 3rd set where he's just telling Carlos, relax. You still have time. You still have time, because you felt the urgency, like maybe Carlos needed to win it in 3 sets. And as you said, he just stayed really relaxed. Then there was the point in the match where Alcaraz was throwing up. He was obviously cramping. He was going through heat stroke, and he came over to his camp and said, like, this is so hard. I'm not feeling it. And his coach said, Carlos, if it were easy, I'd be out there. And just did an amazing job. His whole team of trying to talk him through a really tough situation out there. I mean, both players ended up struggling in these conditions, but this was crunch time for Alcaraz, and credit to his camp for helping him get over the finish line.
You can certainly understand the frustration from Alexander Zverev, and he's right. It should not have been a medical timeout for cramps. You can't get that. And Carlos, by the way, took advantage of the rules and was able to get it done, because maybe it is an injury. He thinks, he doesn't know one way or the other, is able to get that treatment, is able to, we talked about it yesterday, the pickle juice. He was having pickle juice every changeover, and was able to buy himself enough time, like you said, Martina, between the physical toll and the mental strength. Which impressed you more from Alcaraz out there?
It's all connected, but I think the mental, because the body was failing him, and he's such a physical player. He's been there, done that. But speaking of mental and physical, what about Zverev? He said he had nothing left, and when he was serving for the match, but he was serving for the 2nd set, lost it. Serving for the match, lost it. Serving for the match at the US Open for the title, lost it with his most dependable serve. So the mental and physical, they are so connected. And of course, when you get tired, the mental side goes, but Carlos kept it together just beautifully.
This speaks to both of these matches, the Alcaraz match and the Djokovic match. But when things are completely out the window, it's so easy, even just to have a crack in that belief, and that crack is enough at this stage with the level of these players, the stakes that are there. You lose that belief for 1 second, that's enough to lose the entire match. Your hopes of the Grand Slam are out the window. The fact that he kept it all the way, you could see it within him all the way. You could see it within Novak all the way. Boris Becker in his book had one of my favorite quotes of all time. He said the fifth set is not about tennis anymore. And you look at Carlos's record of 15-1 in 5-set matches. And this is not a guy who goes 5 sets unnecessarily. Just astounding. Speaks to the heart, mind, and the other C. that Carlos has.
Cabeza, cortisone, cojones. But this match was the cortisone. It was all heart out there, Lindsay.
It was. He had every reason when he wasn't able to get over the finish line in the third set. His body was failing him. At one point, we thought maybe he was retiring. There was like a little dust at the net. He's kind of paused there for a second. And no, he didn't go for the exit. He went right back to work, and I'm going to figure out a way to get through this. That is all mental. To be able to withstand that. As you said, at times playing on one leg, but not getting too excited until he started feeling better. Remarkable physically. He got stronger in the 5th hour, 6th hour, really. And Zverev was struggling at the end.
The power of belief can get you through the toughest of times.
Absolutely.
And, sport really shows us that every single time that we're able to watch it. Carlos.